the distributive property, page 17 and 18. Page 17, we are to simplify. It does qualify that with hint, hint. Ask yourself, do I need to distribute? If so, distribute first. When I look at each of these, there's no operation sign between this and the parentheses, so I know this is distribution. I have to multiply. There's no operation sign between the two. I need to multiply. No operation sign, no operation sign. So in each of these, I do have to distribute. On the next page, page 18, there are several that do not require distributing. We'll do number 2 and 4 together. We are distributing -1/2 through the terms in the parentheses. We'll multiply -1/2 times 2x and then -1/2 times -4. -1/2, well, let's just get rid of the negatives and the x. 1/2 of 2. 1/2 of 2 is 1. -1/2 of 2 would be -1x. -1x, or -x. Then you've got 1/2, -1/2 times -4. Half of 4 is 2. So -1/2 of -4 is 2. And it's positive because 2 negatives make a positive. So to write that in its simplest form, I would write it like this. And number 4, once again, we distribute. It's this -2 that we distribute. Notice that I highlighted the 2 and the negative, because remember, when we're distributing, it's not just the 2 by itself. It is the negative. If it is negative, that is included. If it's positive, you can include it, sure, but it's what you're used to. It's only a little different when it's negative, or if you're subtracting the number. So I'm going to bring the 3x down because it's not involved in all of the distributing. -2 times -4x. That would be positive 8x. -2 times positive 5 is -10. Now, I'm finished distributing, but I'm not finished with this expression. Notice that I've got 2 different x terms. I need to combine them. 3x plus 8x is 11x. Minus 10. That's number 4. Remember, you do need to distribute in both of these. However, on the next page, you will have some items that you do not distribute. In fact, there are several. We'll do 1, 4, and 6 together. Remember how, just hint, hint, when you have a minus sign in front of parentheses, you can think of it as a -1 that you distribute. Oh, excuse me, that was a big yawn. All right, number 1. We have a plus sign between the 8 and the parentheses. So we do not have to distribute the 8, so we're fine. Oops, except that we have this 7 over here. They put it on the other side. You see those every once in a while. Not terribly often, but you do see them. And what I like to encourage people to do, if you can clearly go from here to the answer like that, go ahead. If you feel uneasy or insecure about distributing the 7 when it's like that, go ahead and change the order and put the 7 over here. It really does look more familiar this way. There you go. And it's the same thing, it's just this is the format that you typically see. I will go ahead and simplify. The first step of that is to distribute the 7. 8 plus 14x. 7 times -1 is minus 7. I'm not finished because I've got like terms. I'll start with the variable term. We've got 14x. 8 minus 7, that gives you 1, so we've got plus 1. Number 4, I chose this one because also you have no number in front of the parentheses. When you have a minus in front of the parentheses, it's really good to just go ahead and stick a 1 there, like I did up here, and then you can just distribute the -1. You can get to a point where you don't have to do that. You just know that if you subtract, that all the signs change. However, as you're learning how to do it and you're getting familiar with this, it's fine to put the -1 there. I think that would be a very helpful thing to do. In the long run, you'll understand it better and you'll work with it better. So don't be afraid to put the 1 there if you need. When I distribute, the 12x is not involved, so I just go ahead and write that. When I distribute the -1, I'm going to go ahead and keep the parentheses because there's also a 3 over here that needs to be distributed. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute this -1. So it would be -1 times -4 is positive 4x. Then we have -1 times positive 1 would be -1. 3. Now I will take that 3 and I'm going to rewrite it over there so it looks more familiar. So 12x, sorry, you don't get to be part of any of the action yet. You just get to keep coming down. Eventually it'll be your turn. I'm going to put the 3 on this side because it just looks more familiar when I distribute. Now I'll go ahead and distribute. Once again, 12x just comes straight down. 3 times 4x is 12x. 3 times -1 is -3. We have 12x plus 12x. We will combine those terms and get 24x minus 3. You have now simplified this. Number 6. 8y plus 1/4, 8y plus 8 minus 5. We are distributing 1/4. So let me write down 8y, and now let's distribute. 1/4 of 8 is 2. So 1/4 of 8y is 2y plus 2y. 1/4 of 8, we already determined that 1/4 of 8 is 2, both positive. Oops, I don't need to do that. Habit. And now, minus 5. We can combine our like terms. We've got 2 different terms. We'll do the variable term first. -8y plus 2y, that's -6y. Plus 2 minus 5 is minus 3. Look down at the bottom. These two are almost identical, but yet they're not. One of them requires distributing, one of them does not. Be careful about that. Remember, you do not need to distribute on all of these. These here, you have distributing and you have not distributing. So be careful and think about what you're doing.